Hello friends, it's Michelle Maddox of Sedona Meditation Experiences with another episode of Sedona Meditation Adventures. This is my mostly weekly show where I come out to places in Sedona in the desert southwest to explore what's happening in the outer terrain while exploring mindfulness and meditation tools to explore the inner terrain. Thank you for joining me. This week I'm close to home because all access to the National Forest is closed until we get significant rainfall. We are in the, I don't know where we are, middle. We're somewhere in a historic drought that, if you've been paying attention to the news, has left the West and especially Arizona very dry. And they had to close forest because people usually spark forest fires. It's just a safety precaution, and that means no hiking, no mountain biking, no Jeep tours, no ATV rentals, nothing going on the National Forest land. So if you come to Sedona, I am still doing my meditation experiences. The Amitabha Stupa is still open, and the wildlands around there offer us a space where we can meet. So don't be shy about coming to Sedona. It's actually an interesting time because there aren't as many tourists. So you won't be able to go out and hike to some of the well-known spots, but you won't have to contend with all the big crowds either. This week, I'm thinking about a bookmark / business card that used to be handed out by a New Age bookshop that was here when I first came to Sedona. The bookshop was called The Golden Word. And their cards were pink with teal writing, and it said on one side, "Expect a miracle." And I used them as bookmarks. I still have some in older books that I've kept. And I loved that when I was first introduced to Sedona. To me then, it spoke of expecting something beautiful to be just on its way. Instead of expecting the worst or something bad to happen, expect something beautiful is just about to happen for you. And it's a beautiful shift when you hold that energy of just expecting gorgeous, amazing, miraculous things to happen for you. That's part of how you create a beautiful reality for yourself. Now, so many years later, I've been in Sedona now for almost 25 years. I had an experience the other day where there's a woman here in town, and she does many things. She every year does a rain dance, or like a prayer for rain. It's a combination of different practices that she does to really call in the rain and just celebrate the rain and act as, the joyful rain has already arrived. And she was singing the blues. She was very upset because she felt like she and her people had done this amazing work to call in the rain, and then she hears and sees the news that predicts more drought, or it's going to be another heat wave, or there's no rain in the forecast. And she's upset because the media has so much control over people's minds and imaginations that instead of expecting the rain and living as if the rain is on its way, expecting that miracle, it's creating a different reality. Expect more drought, expect more heat wave, expect more of the same. So I've been thinking about that, and I don't have a solution to it. I understand where she's coming from, and I do believe that mass consciousness has a lot of power, and when it's swayed to believe a certain way, our thoughts do create our reality. But at the same time, it's foolish to ignore facts that are staring you in the face. For example, the climate situation here in the Southwest. As a climatologist, I know that the climate models have been predicting for the desert Southwest to become hotter and drier. And we are certainly seeing that happen. So in one sense, it's not really so much a surprise because it was predicted. But in the other sense, was the prediction something that helped to create the reality because it's given us all something to expect, and lo and behold, that's what's unfolding? I don't know. So I don't have the answer, like I said, but I do know that it feels good to expect a miracle But I also know that it's foolish to ignore what is and choose to focus on what you want to have. I had another friend years ago who has since passed, and he lost his leg. As an old man, he lost his leg, and so it was really challenging for him to work with the fake leg that they gave him. And he just didn't do much of it. It was too painful, too difficult, so he wasn't strengthening and learning how to walk with, one real leg and one artificial leg. And so he got used to the wheelchair. But he believed, and he continued to say, one day I'm going to walk out of this wheelchair and just dance away. And I loved his spirit. I loved his positive attitude. But at the same time, how can that happen when you're not taking the steps, you're not putting the effort into creating that reality for yourself? Now, we live in a vastly magical and mysterious world where anything is possible, and I have no doubt that it is possible that he could one day pop up and dance out of that wheelchair. But his life is over now, and I can tell you that that never happened. And I'm not telling you that to burst the bubble. I'm just sharing with you something that I've been sitting with this week. So we live in this complex world, and we're complex beings. And we hold on to the hope for miracles, but we can't rest on the expectation that some miraculous thing is going to save us from a course that we have set ourselves on and diligently followed for many, many, many years. So we've got to be pragmatic and dreamy and reach for the sky. At least that's how I try to balance it out. So won't you join me for a little bit of meditation? We'll just sit in silence for a couple of minutes, and you can join me outside if you want to seat yourself outside, or indoors is fine too. But when you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes and take a couple of long, slow, deep breaths. Allowing your energy to settle into your body, sinking down into your chest and hips, your feet, being grounded and present. And now bring your attention to your heart center. It's the area right in the middle of your chest, just next to your physical heart. And as you're breathing, imagine that your heart center is breathing in spiritual air. And as you exhale, imagine your heart center expanding outwards in all directions, opening like a flower. Inhale spiritual energy. Exhale your heart opening. And if you're not imagining it, just keep with it. Keep working with this, and we'll sit here in silence for a minute or so while you consciously pull in spiritual energy to open your heart. Every time I do this kind of meditation, I can feel my heart start to open. And it used to startle me when I first would feel that, because it literally feels like something's crawling on my chest, kind of like opening up. And when I just go with it, I can just feel my whole heart expanding and opening up. Maybe you can feel that too. So what do you think about expecting a miracle versus reading the writing on the wall? I'd really be curious to hear what you have to say. And come to Sedona. Don't be shy about coming here this time of the year. Just know that it's going to be a quieter type of visit. You won't be out on the trails and doing things on the Forest Service land, but there's plenty of other places to visit and things to do. And it's a great time to dive in and do some deep work meditation. I can take you on an experience. I can also do a retreat with you, one-on-one or small group retreats. It's a great time to deepen your meditation practice. And the world needs it now more than ever. So thank you for joining me this week for this Sedona meditation adventure. Until next week, my friends, this is Michelle Maddox saying goodbye for now.